Just the tips with gamertag. XPlay, the score you gave Dark Sector was too low. Hey guys, it's gamertag, and I gotta say I'm a little disappointed because I found out that XPlay gave one of my favorite games, Dark Sector, a 2 out of 5. Giving a game this kick-ass a score that low is like getting slapped in the face, except that instead of hitting your face, the guy hits your ear instead. Want to talk about poor level design? Okay, but I want to talk about awesome level design in the Dark Sector. So if you get sick of using your regular gun in this game, you can also use the boomerang from Krull. You switch to it, multiple weapons. You know what there's not enough of in gaming? Games where one dude fights his way through a harsh gray environment. So because of the realistic physics in this game, when you throw the Krull blade, it comes flying back in your hand just like it does in real life. Take that, Call of Duty 4. Come on, that's just like Lord of the Rings. It's like telling J.J. Tolkien his movie is a 2 out of 2. So is this, in fact, the official sequel to Krull? I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and I'm also going to call it canon. Stamp it, gamertag approved. That's a case closed. Dark Sector deserved a higher score, and I think if XPlay reviews the evidence I've presented here, pretty soon they're going to be on board the Krull 2 train getting their ticket punched, just like me. XPlay's review of the Dark Sector? You just got tagged. Gamertag film!
Coming up, we review Gran Turismo 5 Prologue for the PS3 and tell you if this extended demo is worth your $40.
Plus, we've got a preview of the newly rebooted Alone in the Dark and an exclusive sneak peek of the zero punctuation review of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. XPlay starts now.
Hello and welcome to XPlay, television's most watched video game show. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler, and we're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Tuesday, April 22nd.
And later in the show, we'll tell you how to spend your tax refund in games for cheap bastards. But first, Adam's got all of the top headlines in today's gaming update.
Gamers may have to wait a little longer to test out the Metal Gear Online beta. Konami has announced that due to extraordinary high levels of global traffic, the game's public beta test will be unavailable until they're able to stabilize their server. The beta is now scheduled to start on April 25th and end on May 11th. XPlay will bring you a first look as soon as the beta becomes available. In other PlayStation 3 news, Sony has announced that the open beta for Home has been delayed until the fall of this year, and that more users will be allowed in the closed beta in the meantime. Now don't worry, Sony, we're not holding our breath. We all know that in terms of peripherals, the Guitar Hero franchise has taken a backseat to Harmonix's popular rhythm game Rock Band. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick is planning to change all of that with the release of Guitar Hero 4. In a recent interview in Condé Nast, of all places, Kotick revealed that Guitar Hero 4 will support multiple instruments, including vocals. The game will also feature local content and will even allow gamers to play against neighborhood bands from their area. And finally, we're taking a closer look at the upcoming mystery first-person shooter simply titled They. The game was built on a new proprietary game engine that appears to rival the Unreal 3 engine. The developer promises gamers will experience a new level of immersion as the game's mysterious storyline unfolds. Players will also have the freedom to create and upgrade their own unique weapons to help destroy a phantom alien race. That's all for today's gaming update, and be sure to visit us on the web at g4tv.com/xplay to continue getting all of today's up-to-the-minute video game news. But now let's go over to Morgan for a game that's getting a 21st century reinvention.
Thank you, Adam. New York's Central Park can be a dangerous place at night, especially if you're alone in the dark. A classic survival horror series is set to be relaunched later this summer, and we've got your preview right here. It's been 7 years since the last Alone in the Dark game, but Edward Carnby's return is imminent. This time, he mysteriously appears in modern-day Central Park and must unravel why he's not in the 1920s anymore. Don't think this is just some run-of-the-mill horror sequel, though. Producer Nora Polani explains why this Alone in the Dark will be different.
We don't want it to be any more a survival horror game. We want to really mark a new era for Alone in the Dark and take it to a completely new direction. But in the same time, staying true to the spirit of innovation of the first Alone in the Dark, we wanted to really push the level of interaction that you can have with your environment. And we've built this on the principles of real-world rules. So the idea is that we want the player to be able to instinctively react to your environment. Like take a chair would be, how would I pick up a chair? I would be able to pick it up. And how would I be able to manipulate it? Well, I can manipulate it logically, for example, by using the analog stick.
Edward can pick up and swing things around using the analog stick, which makes for a nice bludgeoning effect. Your primary weapon in this game is fire, and the development team has worked for over a year to make the flames in Alone in the Dark function according to several real-world rules.
One was to have fire that can propagate realistically on all inflammable surfaces in following the real-world rules principle. To have it look great at the same time, and to create real-time lights while it's propagating from its start, burning flames, and then afterwards to charcoal starts dimming down.
And what about that classic horror game enemy, the indestructible door?
The idea of the doors, that was another cliche that we wanted to break. We don't want you to go look for a golden key. We want you to say, okay, if I have a gun, shoot it down, or I have a canister and just break it down. I mean, no doors you can't break down. That's the principles we wanted to break.
As unsettling as the idea of a scary game with no bazookas may seem, we look forward to burning down Central Park when Alone in the Dark arrives in June.
Atari's got a good-looking game. Oof. Well, on that same note, Gran Turismo.
With technology advancing at an exponential rate, you'll often find yourself with antiquated game consoles and portable cassette decks. In today's X List, we take a look at the top 5 things to do with outmoded electronics. Number 5, use your console to replace your pet. Play Frisbee with it, or just take it for walkies. You'll never need a litter box again.
Number 4, use them to wash your car. Original Xboxes make for ultra-absorbent sponges. All the better to get your automobile shiny and new.
Number 3, you can wear your old video game consoles as attractive jewelry. Got some leftover GameCube? They make a fetching set of earrings.
Number 2, you can also use your old game consoles to create your very own obstacle course. We found that Xboxes work best because of their perfect pep.
And the number 1 thing to do with your old console? Why, G-Cycle it, of course. All you need to do is head to gcycle.org, punch in your zip code, and find out where to drop off your old game consoles. They even take other electronics like outdated cell phones and used batteries. Dude, come on, G-Cycle.
Last spring, G4 partnered with Earth 911 to create G-Cycle, G4's master plan to reduce e-waste. Now, today marks the first anniversary of this alliance, and we're still going strong. So get out there and get to G-Cycling. We have to take an environmentally friendly break, but first we got a poll question for you. Would you try out an MMO if it's free? A, yes, B, no, or C, not unless I'm the guild master? Log on to g4tv.com/xplay and let your freedom of choice ring. We'll have some results later in the show.
Coming up on X-Play, we have an exclusive sneak peek at tomorrow's Zero Punctuation review. Don't miss the accents or the rage. Then we preview Mythos, the new free RPG from the people that brought you Diablo. Plus, we have a surefire way to save your money and keep your console running. It's games for cheap bastards. Stick around. Today's gaming update is brought to you by G-Cycle, G4's plan to reduce e-waste. Visit gcycle.org to find local places to ditch your old electronics.
Become a stick-figure Spider-Man for free. Indie Games begins in 60 seconds.
Yo, we are...
Welcome to Indie Games, a 60-second smidgen of online amusement. Take a little journey with me. Consider, if you will, the adventures of Spider-Man enacted on the painted walls of a Lascaux cave. Well, that's exactly how I felt when I was playing Double Wires. It's a side-scrolling exercise in precision clicking. You'll need to navigate a 2D world of cantilevered ledges rendered in a refreshingly naive stick figure motif. Yeah, I'm dating an art history major. You can tell, right? Good, I'm glad you're impressed. Now, don't let the primitive aesthetic fool you. The gameplay is smooth, yet it's surprisingly difficult. You'll have a lot of fun with it, though. I'm out of here. In the meantime, check me out online at g4tv.com/indiegames for links to this and other great stuff. I'm Kevin Pereira. What do you want for nothing?
Welcome back to X-Play. Well, it's Tuesday, which means I get a siesta while our favorite British player hater gets to dissect a new game. We have a sneak peek of tomorrow's zero punctuation review of Super Smash Bros. Brawl for you. Take a look.
Maybe I'm approaching this the wrong way. Maybe this isn't a game intended to be played seriously. Perhaps I should just be embracing the spectacle. And I must confess, engineering a scenario in which Mario can brutally beat the stupid out of Princess Peach while the crowd screams for blood is very satisfying. And it would be pretty sweet to watch Solid Snake get Sonic the Hedgehog into an arm lock and slit his throat. Oh wait, we can't, can we? Because those characters aren't unlocked straight away. I hate it when multiplayer games do this. You bring a hot new unreleased title to a party and you're the toast of the evening until you discover that half the content has to be unlocked in single player, and then the toast of the evening becomes a damp square of cold mush. I mean, I know video game developers are all hopeless social rejects, but surely they've gone to at least one party in their life, even if it involved past the parcel. Get this, if you want to be playing as everyone's favorite Azure attention deficit woodland mammal, you have to play for 10 gargling hours. Well, we didn't have 10 vagina-swilling hours, Nintendo. We had one vodka-fueled evening, most of which we probably wouldn't even remember the following morning. Considering lest we forget how prominently Snake and Sonic featured in hype, there really needs to be a law against this sort of thing, preferably one of those maritime laws that lead to someone getting tied to a mast and flogged.
He really meant that one. And remember, you can get Zero Punctuation's full uncensored review of Super Smash Bros. Brawl only at escapistmagazine.com. And X-Play will have new previews every Tuesday night. But now let's go over to Morgan for a game that is free and apparently worth playing.
Yes, Flagship Studios' new...
Next week, X-Play has an unprecedented look at this summer's hottest games with our Summer Games preview. We'll show you what games you need to save up for with our 5 days of coverage.
We will have world premieres of Little Big Planet, Too Human, and more.
Plus, an exclusive new look at The Force Unleashed for the Wii and Xbox 360. The week kicks off with a 1-hour Grand Theft Auto 4 special. X-Play Summer Games Preview week-long coverage begins Monday night at 8. Check out g4tv.com/summergames for info and updates. And when X-Play returns, we'll run down the best games for Cheap Bastard.
But first, we've got an update on Mr. Stark's latest Halo 3 Gamer Challenge, Sarcathlon 2.
The competition is fierce, and players have already resorted to tactics straight out of King of Kong. We'll have more on the videotape drama this Thursday in a Sarcathlon update.
And remember, Bungie has officially sanctioned this event and put up the biggest prize yet, Recon Armor. This could be your only chance to get it.
So head on over to g4tv.com/xplay for all the details. There's still a little over a week left to get your times in. And let's take a look at the leaderboard to see who's on top so far and what ridiculous times you have to beat.
G4 presents an epic conflict for gaming's most controversial world record, The King of Kong, June 1st, only on G4. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. G4 X-Play.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, be sure to tune in to G4 this Sunday morning at noon Eastern Time for the world premiere demo of Grand Theft Auto 4. We'll interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you a commercial-free live feed of Morgan and I playing the most wanted game of the year.
Yes, we'll do a little shooting, run over pedestrians, and get into a whole lot of trouble. Your exclusive first look at GTA 4 is this Sunday morning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The only place you're going to see this is on G4. Now, earlier in the show, we asked you if you would try out an MMO if it was free. We've tabulated your votes, and You know, you said yes a whopping 78% of the time. I guess no one wants to be Guildmaster anymore.
Well, it's the time of year for a little spring cleaning. While completing this tidying task, you could discover some change between your sofa cushions or some cash in your roommate's wallet. If you have a few extra dollars in your pocket, we've got a Games for Cheap Bastards that'll help you get rid of it. Spring is in the air. Taxes have to be paid. Money needs to be saved. But games still need to be played. These are Games for Cheap Bastards. With March Madness behind us and the NBA playoffs in front of us, you're probably in full basketball Jones mode. Feed that Jones with College Hoops 2K8. It's recently been discounted to under 30 bones. This time, you can play the college season the way it should have gone, with UCLA winning. So many battles, so many weapons, only one Conan. The man's man of hacking and slashing. He drinks, he rocks, and he loves the ladies.
Perhaps you would serve a woman then.
Service her. Aye, and gladly.
Plus, he knows how to entertain you with a very reasonable price of $29.99. That's a great price to see your enemy driven before you. Command & Conquer 3, The Tiberium Wars. A continuing great franchise continues to please. X-Play gave this Xbox 360 game 4 Ironsides out of 5. All the commanding and conquering you should ever want. Plus, aliens. You really should have it already, but if you don't, the price is now under 30 bucks. There's no excuse now, because any game with Billy D. Williams is worth more.
Just do the right thing.
Much, much more. And finally, a game for cheap dumb bastards. Jumper Griffin Story. The crappy game based on the crappy movie has been discounted even more to $19.99. It's still not worth it. You might as well not jump with Jumper.
Tomorrow night at 8, we hit the courts for some gravity-defying dunks and review NBA Ballers Chosen One for the 360. Then, we'll take you inside the wild, trippy action of Haze for the PS3 and preview the game's unique multiplayer action. Plus, Kristen Holt has a cheat for Rainbow Six Vegas 2 that will have you taking home a jackpot in no time. You don't want to miss it.
Plus, we've got all the latest online content in the download.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching X-Play. There's gonna be a lot of guns in tomorrow.